Hi everyone, Marisa B here. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. Today I have with me Keri Ports. She is a psychic medium that deals with human and animal clients. Hello, Keri. Thank you so much for coming. I don't want to give away too much. I know you have a very good gift that's been given to you. So I'd like you to explain to the audience today how this all came about, if possible. And again, welcome.
Thank you, Marissa. And I'm so happy to be here. Been looking forward to this. And anytime I can talk about my passion, which is all things related to spirit and animals, I get so excited. So yeah, my journey has been an interesting one, but it started about 13 years ago. Kind of, I've always felt the calling of energy and, people and animals and places, but I wasn't ready, just wasn't ready to open up. So finally at 34, I was on the phone talking to a medium who's now a colleague. And he gave me a message from my great grandmother in spirit, whom I've never met, but I knew she was a healer back in the mid 1900s in Iran. And so she just said, Keri, he's in the door, turn it. And so I knew it, I've known it, but I was just not ready to hear her, but I did, and so after that message, I worked on my energy for about a year, opening up all my chakras. And then from there, it's been spirit guiding me every step of the way. And so kind of started off giving free readings, then started charging, and then, made it full-time profession for over a decade. And it's about 98% humans and 2% animals. And if it were up to me, it'd be the opposite. No offense. I love people, I do, but Spirit said in the beginning, you're not going to work with animals, so don't, 100% of the time, just don't get used to it.
Now, like, you're a psychic medium, but you're also an animal communicator. And correct. Those are different, correct?
Correct. So psychic is of the soul and of the mind. So you can be psychic and have your extrasensory perceptions, claircognizant, clairvoyant. The different clairs are the psychic ESPs. Mediumship is connecting to spirit. So not all psychics are mediums.
Right.
But all mediums need to be psychic in order for their gifts to open.
Right, to be a medium, yes.
Yeah, to be a medium. And the animal communication just comes along with all of the, the psychic gifts, so to speak. And that just comes with it, all the telepathy. So anyone, and we all have psychic gifts. You've got psychic gifts. Everyone has it. It's just a matter of opening up, right?
Right. Well, they say, what do we use? Only 5% of our brain?
Yeah.
5-6% of our brain.
Right. And it's just learning, to open up and then manage, your gifts. So we all have them. It's just not everyone is meant, let's just say to be a neurosurgeon or what have you. Can be a doctor or something, but everyone's got different roles in life. But we all have our intuitive gifts. And if we all use them, our worlds would be a lot calmer and peaceful. And that's the one thing I love working with, right? To be able to tune in when you're feeling like everything is kind of collapsing, or just asking a question, right? Like, okay, Marissa, if you were, should you decide, should I, do I need to go to the store today, or, should I wait? Oh, what about the vacation? Do I need to go to Mexico? Should I go to Mexico? Certain, little things in our daily lives where, that we can be indecisive about. Our intuitive gifts can just point us directly. Oh, that yes, no. Okay, that's great.
That's true. How many don't take the advice, right? How many might hear something and don't take the advice?
Yeah, and I'm sure
they block it.
Yeah, right. And they second guess, which is easy to do. We all do it in the beginning because it's learning how to trust what you're getting, right? We're getting from our own souls. And then, of course, spirit's going to come guide us silently. We just need to really pay attention. So, our first line of defense is our souls. and if we're open and listening, oh man, just think about it. It's just,
I mean, well, you're right. Open. I think you have to be open to it. Right.
You have to be open, but that's where we are right now in 2023, where we are collectively with the energy. And, I work behind the scenes with a colleague, and it's where we are now, is the enlightenment, is the awakening. So it should be an honor and a privilege if someone, when to say you're woke and just waking up, that is exactly where we're supposed to be. And you see people, right, that are kind of kicking and screaming and not listening to them. Yes. And look what's happening. People get sick. The spiritual manifests in the physical form. We make ourselves.
Sure.
Does that have you noticed, like, if you're not feeling well, and not listening, yes.
Well, if right. If your thoughts aren't correct, if your thoughts aren't, happy thoughts, positive thoughts,
right,
you can very well make yourself sick.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are people who worry all the time, and they have a lot of stress because they worry, and then that makes them have more stress, and then that stress makes them worry more, and it's a vicious cycle.
Absolutely. So the one thing, and a lot of people, and I had this in the beginning, is letting go of control. And my great grandmother, who was a guide up until about 5 years ago, she would always say, Keri, you're in the passenger seat. You are not driving the car. And I tell that to clients all the time. Because we do.
I have to confess. I have to confess that I was not controlling of other people, but controlling of my world. And then I had my daughter, and she was a micro preemie, and I had her at 25 weeks. And that's when I learned I have no control over a thing on the planet.
That is, and look, and how did that change you? It's
it had no choice. Just I had no choice. I mean, and I was fortunate. I mean, she just was tiny, and we had to wait for her to grow. But there was that was a lesson for sure.
And now
there is no control. Now she's
a force to be reckoned with. I can feel her. Yeah.
She's 22, and she's a tiny little thing, but
she's a force. I can feel her spirit. She's absolutely right on. And it takes circumstances and events in our lives. I call the wake up calls, right?
Right.
That spirit is trying to say, look, man, we've got this. We've got it. The higher, whoever the higher power that you can associate.
Right.
Me, it's God. I mean, and I, that's my relationship with God and the archangels, and they're just, but everyone, what, doesn't matter as long as you believe and you have faith, and you're asking.
Right. Absolutely. In fact, I had someone on that was an angel card reader, and she has she mentors angel readers, and
love it.
And we talked about that, and that was one of the questions I asked her about, why angels. And yes, major religions of the world do have angels, but you don't have to have that in your background to follow them. So you just have to be open. Once again, you have to be open to everything.
Absolutely. And just being open, and you're right, and having faith and asking. And again, if people are not, you don't need to follow any religion,
right. Exactly.
It is, you do not, no matter what spirit, if you are open and you're willing to ask, just ask. I say, you're going to get an answer in one way, shape, or form. So it's just having the relationship, right, with the supernatural. I mean, I know I get so excited just because, spirit is always with us, no matter what you think or feel. It's like, they're like, we're here for you all the time. Family members that are like, what? Just ask us, we're here for you. But it's up to us to actually truly listen. And I mean, listen with your whole being.
Yes. I believe that. I think you have to be open. I mean, we know that if we open up, we open wide. Otherwise, you're closing yourself off. You begin to shrink. I mean, you should be open, because with openness comes, positivity and acceptance, right? Acceptance of others, acceptance of other ways of living, acceptance of other things that are out there that we may not necessarily understand at this moment.
Right. And that's what, we are getting bombarded with now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I'm finding more people being guided, and I knew that was going to happen, being
Mm-hmm.
guided who, 2 years ago may be like, what, spirit? I don't think so. And now
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm ready,
It's funny when someone says that, like you, because I've always been around it. I know my husband would always say to me, you've lived a different kind of life. Most people don't have that in their life, but I was always around people like that. And then I forget until I hear other people say to me, it's now opening up. It's now happening. A couple of years ago, it wasn't, or people weren't as apt to talk about it.
Absolutely.
And yet I've always had it around me. So it doesn't no, it doesn't close me off. It doesn't surprise me. I'm not skeptical when someone says, listen, I saw such and such occur. It doesn't faze me. That's what they're saying might be incorrect, or no, not at all. I mean, I'm sure that some way, somewhere, someday, maybe scientific discoveries will show us things that look at how far we've come already with science. I'm sure that it will be there.
Right. And that's why, you've got like the paranormal people that have like the little gadgets that can record audio.
Yes. Right. Some people, right. They want the science behind it. So they go out with the gadgets. Yes.
Yeah. And you know what? That is fine, because you kind of have to. The science and the spiritual, you know what? The two worlds. Yes. And we're going to see that too. We're going to see a lot more collaborations, because the evidence, oh my God, there's an apparition, let me get that. Spirit wants that to happen. Yes. But as long as they're, the intentions are good, and, you're going through like, okay, spirit, please show us yourself. I mean, I say that and then I laugh and I get upset when I see, and I don't watch these, but the different TV shows that, really just play up. It's kind of the scary side of spirit, which I just laugh at, because they're having fun with the people that go with their cameras and, they're tracking. They just freaking laugh, and so for me, it's all about, being respectful, to them. And
I've heard that. I've actually heard.
You've heard that. Okay.
Some people that have this type of talent as you do, and who have honed this craft, say that if you're not respectful, that can cause a big problem.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Because it's being, it's respectful, because everyone has a soul. Everyone is going to transition into spirit. And the way people are, let's just say going into an old house and, trying to scare or just
or stir up.
Yeah, stir up. They're just like, are you kidding me? We're here, ask us why that we're around. We've got a message. They always have messages regardless. They're not trying to scare us or anything.
Right.
They're laughing at us, saying, please, listen. So I just have to, some of those shows, I'm like, you guys are just coming at it from the wrong angle. I don't know. I'm not, speaking in part with all of them, but
right.
It's a matter of respecting them. And, I laugh at the word ghost, because there is, there's no such thing. They're not trapped. They may be coming, ghosts are really trapped earthbound spirits. No, but no soul spirit is trapped. They can come and go. Some may not have gone to the light yet, crossover. That's something else. They may be sticking around because they still have something, unfinished business or a message they need to convey. So I just laugh at those, but I just think, we all need to be respectful, whether we're living or, we're in a different form. That we do. And that's one thing that humanity still needs to learn. Look at us, how we treat each other.
Isn't that terrible? I mean, that's really how I originally started the show, because I thought that many like-minded individuals talking about like-minded thoughts and ideas and and enlightened thinking may change the way we treat one another.
Absolutely. And it's going to take conversations like we're having.
Absolutely.
And then, your show, is a platform. So absolutely, because, it's getting people who may not be interested or aware or conscious of it, and having them, tune in. But those of us that are conscious and just want to, we're part of helping elevate, humanity and the consciousness of it. So we're just going to see it really spread in the next 2 to 3 years. I just can't stress that enough. It's going to be more people are just going to be kind of coming and being drawn in to, learning about their energy, learning about spirit. What else is out there? Because let me tell you, there's
I know, if you think we're a speck, right? We're a speck. We're a speck.
We are such a speck
in the universe alone. You imagine in infinity. As we're talking about our universe, we're a speck in our universe, but there's infinity. We have no idea. Yes.
Well, there are life forms on, other planets. Yeah, absolutely. I call them higher dimensional beings. You can call them aliens. Hell yeah. They're here to help us, and they're going to become, more present in the next couple of years. We're going to see that. I know it's like shift, all of the UFO talk, that's going to become even more real because different races, and I call them, they are alien races, are coming. They're going to be coming to help us. They're already guiding us, but they're literally going to be helping us even more. This is why we have spirit, and I just get so excited because everyone in spirit's working together. It doesn't matter if you're Jesus, it doesn't matter if you're Allah, it just doesn't matter. It Buddha, it's just I've talked to all of them, and it's like we are all here, to make sure humanity gets back into their heart. And I'm like, that's why it's been, so hard the last 2,000 years. It's taken, it's just what humanity has created. And now it's time to be like, okay, guys, you gotta unload everything. And that's, the turning point was COVID. And I'll tell you, 13 years ago, my colleague and I saw, when we started working together, people in their homes, I was seeing protests. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, I was thinking something nuclear, but spirit didn't say anything. And then a few months before, it was like, get ready, you guys. It's like, what's happening? And then that's what coronavirus was. So that absolutely, was supposed to happen. And look where everyone's coming out of that now, and kind of has been the impetus of, okay, guys, now people have really had to soul search.
A lot of life changes.
Huge.
A lot of changing thoughts.
Yeah. And you got to think about it, and because I'm thinking, in what capacity is humanity actually, going to be able, let's just say, what's going to keep them in their homes? I kept thinking about that, and then hello, being in lockdown is probably, one of the hardest but best things for people, even if they didn't know. People made shifts that they're like, no.
Oh, right. They would have probably never, it would have never entered their mind, right? It would have never entered their mind.
So it's like when we're forced, to kind of go somewhere that we didn't see coming.
Right.
And then what's coming, we're seeing that now. And I'm sure you're noticing, like a couple of years now, we're 2-3 years out, and people have shifted careers. They've, they're doing all things that they had no intention they were actually supposed to be doing. So
yes, and realizing that there's more. There's more, and yet there's more with less.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're seeing it, and it's just it's dramatic, and so that's why we're on the precipice of, I'm just going to say, the transformation point now, and so the next 2 to 3 years is going to be significant.
Now, how do you get your messages? How do you get, question. Because some people,
great question.
Only, is it psychometry when it's used to objects? I know people have different.
Psychometry is objects, but for me, all of the clairs. So clairvoyance, all the visuals, third eye. Claircognizance is the knowing. There's clairaudient, which is the hearing. There's sentient, is the feelings. Those are there's 4 of the big ones. I'm all of them. So I see, feel, and hear. So if we're talking, I can see, I'm just going to say this. I have Archangel Michael right here. Why? Because he's in part of my entourage of team right now. And they have changed significantly, throughout the past 12 years.
So you have guides. In other words, you have guides.
Correct. We all do, but yes, but mine are right now teaming up. There's just a handful of archangels. And I actually have Pegasus around me, who's amazing. And they've shifted. I had my great grandmother, for over 8-9 years. And then it was time for me. I graduated. Okay, I'm going to go. Archangel Gabriel was my director, as I say. Then it was time for me to graduate. So that has been my core, but everyone has guides. Your grandmother, your great grandmother, you've got 2 women that are around you that have been guiding you. I don't know if you know that. It's like everyone has different teams or entourages, as I say, depending on your purpose. I mean, everyone, you can have 1, you can have 2, but family members do step in, and do help guide us. Again, depending on, who we are meant to be, who are we serving? Why are we here? So it's really amazing. Everyone is so different and unique in terms of their entourage.
I'm assuming, right. Or here. Yes. Or knowing, right? Everyone
the knowing, that's the cognizance is just the knowing. You've got the knowing, right? I mean, it's like you feel too. You're very clairsentient.
Yes, I often wonder if it's just perception,
you're funny. I know,
being very perceptive. I'm just wondering if it's very perceptive of things,
right? But you feel. You're very clairsentient, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you get that, when you're working with people or just being out, right? It's like being able to feel their emotions.
But again, I always think that maybe it's just being very perceptive.
No, girl,
very perceptive working with individuals, maybe.
Right. Right. Well, it's part of that, but it's that feeling is really, that's probably the one intuitive gift that most people will have open up first, is the clairsentient. So feeling other people's emotions, places, animals, without that's that's the first one. But the rest, there's different tools. And
I know you've studied a lot. I know you've studied at university in England, correct? Yes, it was
Arthur
Findlay
College.
Findlay, yes. Arthur Findlay, which is pretty well known.
It is, it's a great premier school, and there's online courses, or you can go over now, and study. The tutors are just exceptional. I mean, they're just amazing. So being able to work with them and being guided has been wonderful. Absolutely. So they've been part of it, and my colleagues been part of it, but Spirit has been the guiding force.
Well, of course.
Oh my God, right? Without it, it's like wouldn't, be. So it's like a nice combination, but I highly, if anyone's interested, please, Arthur Findlay College, you can, look online. They've got everything.
I've heard of them, and I've heard that they're very good in what you would call the intuitive arts. All of the intuitive arts, and
I call it the psychic college. We call it we call it the Hogwarts of this. It is. So
because I'm assuming this, you have to hone your craft just like any other.
You do, like anything else, right? I've gone to I've gone to mediumship seminars for a week, studied, and you do. You've got to, you really do, because this is a craft like most, I'm not going to say careers, but I'll just say roles, or so to speak, right? There's a certain way to
people have natural talents towards a number of different things,
right? But
and so if you want to hone that talent,
right, to be able to give a mediumship reading, okay, there's certain evidences, let's do 7 to 8 things, I got spirit coming through. It can be very specific, and to be able to do it takes time. yeah, to develop. I mean, you're developing your gifts or what have you.
Mhm.
So that's been huge. Yeah. And that's ongoing. I mean, it's kind of like with anything, it's like
Mhm.
just to keep, to,
Oh, right. Always,
yeah.
always keeping up on everything. Sure,
Right,
of
right,
course.
right, right. Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
now you read for people privately.
Privately, but I also do groups. I teach,
Mhm.
but in the last couple years, it's all been remote.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to yoga festivals and gathering my
Yes, you
clients.
were out. You were out. Right.
I
You
was
were out
out
like
probably
everyone
traveling
was.
9 months
Right.
of the year. And
Yes.
now, yeah, it's been a little bit of a respite.
Mhm.
So working remotely, but yeah, it's been wonderful. But now it's like, okay, here we're turning the corner
Mhm.
now. It's time, spirit's like, it's time for you to get, more public.
Right.
I'm like, all right.
Now, do you
So
think you're going to go back to festivals? Because that's a lot of work,
that is a lot
traveling
of
like
work.
that.
Yeah, not right now. I think not the yoga festivals because
Mhm.
my client base has been healers and light workers,
Mhm.
and I love them. But now it's time to expand.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, going and speaking publicly
Mhm.
um, to a whole, let's just say, group of people, just kind
Mhm.
of that's where I'm being guided, in talking to whomever. And that's where it's coming because
Mhm.
again, it's everyone is
Right. It's time. It's
oh my,
time.
I've been waiting for this. I've
Yeah.
been waiting. I've been
Uh,
waiting. So we're
And
finally here. I'm
do
excited.
people call you out? Like, do people call if they have an issue, they call you to their home? Like, do you do that type of thing too? Like a special call?
If they're in Santa Fe, sure, I might. But yeah, I mean, if I'm needed to, but I'll be
Mhm.
honest, this is a question a lot of people ask. Doing remote reading, Zoom, phone, the energy for me is the same whether I am
Mhm.
sitting next to you or I am talking to you through a
Right.
computer.
Right.
And I prefer actually not to be in person. That's just
Mhm.
me. I don't have an issue with it, but there's no reason. And I still have, some people that, want me to, come sit with
Mhm.
them. Not so much in Santa Fe, but clients that I have,
Mhm.
all over. But
Right.
I will travel if need be, but it's so not necessary,
Mm.
and it's, yeah. And
Well, I know that some people, because I still grapple with the psychic medium, the medium people that they see only deceased people. And I know that some
okay,
people are called to homes. Some families
yeah.
need help at home and they're called to homes. Is that like a special field of people that do
No,
that?
no, not at all. Now, are you speaking like going to homes if there's something energetic going on in the home?
Well, that's a little different, right? That would
Yeah,
be
that's
somebody
different. But
different. I mean, they
yeah.
usually have somebody walk through the home, but the people who handle all of that are different. I would
Oh,
think.
right. Like, well, I
Yes.
like house clearings. I mean, the
Right.
like that kind of thing. I
You've
do that
you've done house
physically,
cleanings.
but oh yeah, I've done house clearings, but
Right.
I'll be honest, I do now everything again. I go back
Mhm.
energetically, I can do it. Remote,
Right.
it's like working remotely. I can sit there and look in,
Mhm.
your house and be like, okay, let me literally cleanse it and and I can do it remotely.
Mhm.
But the physical clearing, um, that's helpful too. But mostly, you do it, right? You clearing your space, your
Oh,
home.
well, I've been doing it a
Do
long
you?
time when clients come. Yes.
Yeah, you need to
When
do it because you
clients
got to,
come.
yeah.
Well, you also have to keep it free of all kinds of things.
Yeah,
I don't want a client coming and they feel energy from someone who had been there
right,
before that
right.
maybe has a different issue. That's not fair to them. They're coming with their own issue. I try to
Absolutely.
keep the space
Good for you.
as calm as possible, as clear as possible. And then, of
Right,
course, people are coming and going. And because some come for either hypnotherapy or regression therapy,
right.
sometimes that can be
Oh yeah.
problematic. So I always want to have it cleared between clients because I don't want them going home feeling worse
No,
than when they came in.
absolutely. You're absolutely right. And you know what? I even do it when I'm doing back-to-back phone or
Mhm.
Zoom sessions. Oh, you
Mhm.
bet your butt. I get out my Palo Santo in between because,
Yes.
my energy, even just talking, it just will amplify,
Mhm.
whatever's going on with them. And I'm not going to have that sit for, my
Right.
next client. And it's interesting because I'll actually, if we were going to have a session and I did this, I clear your energy quickly. Any negativity, I'm going to clear it off you, and I'm just going to ground you a little bit. So and I did that, Marissa, because I do that.
I have a friend. I have a friend that does that. Clears all the negative right away. Yes, I have a friend that does that. So I'm familiar with that. And I make sure she would say, I'm going to clear all the negative energy right now, and she would do it. And she's been doing it for years. Yes, but like I say on this plane as a therapist, people already, and I don't have anything against it, because every therapist is not for every client. So already on this plane, someone comes, they have issues, they have things they want to work with, and they come and they may like to continue with me, they may not. So I don't want them to have even more weight put on them to go with them. It's not fair to them.
Correct. Because you don't want them, walking in, to the person that was crying ahead, because I mean, the energy sits, energy becomes stagnant. And so it's so important. Yes. I mean, clearing, I can't stress that enough with, to clients, I was like, you got to keep your space, and keeping all of your home clear, and then your energy.
Yes. Absolutely. Like, my daughter was little. We went around with my daughter. We went around with the sage stick from room to room. She was little. She could have been more than 4, coming behind me. We were going from room to room so that we could clear out after we had work done in the house.
It's so important, right?
Yeah, just to clear it out, to clean it out.
You have to. And it's like, I always tell clients, make sure that you've got a door or window open, and ask what you want to be removed. So everything you're feeling, right? The anxiety, the worry, the stagnation, make sure that you're intentional about what you want being cleared out, but also what you want being brought in. Very important, which I'm sure you do. And I love telling people that. Just make sure you're intentional, because your energy is going to, your space is going to be set by that. And you have to keep doing it when you've got clients coming, for sure.
Yes. And that's why, I mean, of course, I never had clients to my home. I always had a separate location.
Because you're smart.
Still, but still for them, because they don't need to be
no, you're right,
enduring anything much more difficult than what they already came in with, and what they're already trying to deal with, especially things that come from other individuals. They, the next thing you know, something is weighing them down even further, and they have no idea where it came from. I didn't want them to have that. So just to make it safe, I always cleared everything, even anything that I used with them. Even if apart from, if anything was physical, like if we used any type of Kansa wands, those have to be cleaned legally.
Wands totally do.
But they have to be cleaned legally. But anything that really, even if it didn't touch them, I still would make sure they were cleansed.
Right. And speaking of that, brings us to the whole objects and psychometry. I love that. The energy within everything, that's a good tool for people to learn as well. Using an object, photographs, that's another one that can really strengthen, clairvoyance.
Yes.
Photos, because, everything has energy. And so it's like, it's just so, it's a good tool to use when you're really trying to open up, your gifts. And so, I'm a big thing with the psychometry. And some people need psychometry, some people need tools as, pendulum, cards, all of that. Right. And it all depends on your ability, kind of.
I know, isn't there a place that actually tests? I know many years ago, a lot of universities were doing testing, and they were testing people behind a wall with cards, certain symbols on cards, to see how many people could get the same, I don't want to say guess, but the same answer to the cards that were shown on the other side of the wall. But I think that there's a facility that actually tests, right? Isn't there? Now there's some place that tests mediums. I think that I don't know exactly what state it's in, but.
Okay. I don't know either, but you're right. You're right. But when you're coming to test, it's kind of, it depends if it's being done, if it's, I don't know, testing like psychic skills. To me, that's that's not always it's a good barometer. You know what I mean? Like
right.
guessing a card. But to be credentialed, let's just say, as an evidential medium, or, by your peers or Arthur, it takes.
That must be what it is. It might
Yeah,
be, it might be some sort of agency that has other experts that test. Right. Yes.
Right. I have not been guided to that route because I've got my clients and I'm like, if I needed to, sure. But to me, everyone's gifts, it's kind of, if I wasn't working, then that would be something. That would
right.
Yeah.
Now, do you teach other people? Do you teach other people?
Yeah.
To do this?
I teach, yes, to manage and kind of help open you up. Absolutely. And I do. I'm actually getting that. I used to just do one-to-ones like in packages, but I am starting one-to-one for 6 months, like just twice a month. And then I'm going to do a group, and that's going to be something else, probably November. But the one-to-ones is really focused in on the individual, kind of where you are, where you need to be.
Oh, I would assume, right, that would be probably someone who's interested in going this route because they feel that they have some sort of gift. Would have to be one-on-one, I would think.
Right.
I mean, yes, getting in a group, but one-on-one also there would have to be
one-on-one. Yeah. And so that's the one I'm going to be rolling out. So, if anyone's interested,
yes, and that's what I was going to ask you. Information. How can I'm sure that somebody from the audience is going to ask. They always do ask a question. How can I get a hold of this person? How could I get a reading? How could I get help from this person? Do you have a website? Can I add anything in the description below the your guest speaker spot?
Keri Ports.
So I will put all that in. Now, do you have anything on Facebook? Any groups? Anything? I know some of my guests have had different groups, either that they have already or that they're starting. Do you have any of that?
I've got my personal page, which is Keri Ports, and then my business, which is Keri Ports Human and Animal Psychic Medium. I have those two. I have
which I will list to that. I will put all of the links as well.
That'd be great. And then Instagram, I'm Psychic Medium KP. You can just look up Keri Ports. So those are my kind of those are my two mediums, so to speak.
That people can contact you.
Yeah, and my website, keriports.com. So if anyone, feel free to reach out and
and the website, of course. Yes, I'm sure that you have all the information there.
Yeah, got everything. I got everything.
That would be. I mean, my gosh, we could talk about this forever, right? I mean, this could go on and on. You could go in different directions, right? I mean, there's so many. You had mentioned people who have had near-death experiences, people that I mean, just that alone.
And that again
is an entire topic.
And that's a great topic because it's a wake-up call. And
some people come back with talents that they didn't have, but they have talents that they didn't have before. And some people say, why? I don't want to do this. Why is this happening? People want to go back to the life that they had, and they can't, because even when they try to go back, some force is telling them, no, you can't. This is now your new job.
Right. And you know what? That has something to do with soul contracts, which, we all have. We've got so many. And so that's something that we're not going to be cognizant and aware about. If we knew everything we were supposed to do in this life, do you think we would live? Right. The lessons we need to learn, the good, the bad. So someone, that has an NDE, and goes over, and spirit is like, okay, this is what, we all agreed upon, that you're going to be doing this, whether you like, I just say you did. And you come back, it's something that we decide along, with the powers that be, whether it's God, we do. We just don't remember because again, we wouldn't do half this stuff we do, or be able to live, just free will, right?
Right.
But exactly. I understand because these gifts, there's so much responsibility that comes with it, as you're opening up and having confidence. There's responsibility. And
but there's like I said, there's so much, right? You could talk. I mean, there's so many sections of this talk, right? Just the sentient beings, the
Oh my God, yeah, we could talk like
you
for
know,
hours.
yes, right.
Yeah.
That's the case. It's so, and it can be so in depth. This
Yeah,
is really just the tip of
we're
the
just
iceberg,
yeah,
right?
we have
Just
to do part
scratching.
2 or 3.
Yes, scratching the surface. And really, yes, of course.
Yeah.
You think about it. I mean, just the other life that's out there in the universe. Just that alone. I mean, there's so much so much conversation to have.
There is, there's conversation, and there's going to be more, awareness and people's own experiences, right? I mean, it's our experiences with the supernatural and the spirit world that makes it real, because
yes, I mean, especially if it is the case that we are spirits here in a body for this short period of time, then of course there's more. Of course there would have to be more.
Yeah, and I always tell people, what, there is no death in life. It's only the physical body that dies.
Right. Just a transition.
It's a transition. It's a transformation into another life form. And that's why, when our loved ones go, that relationship just transforms. Yes, they're gone. We love them. We miss them, but we can still talk to them and still get the guidance. And a lot of people are going to be understanding that more, and they're going to want it. Especially I go back to COVID, people that were being called to the other side, because they were, whether or not they were. And that doesn't, their roles on the other side are just as important as their roles would be in the physical world. So it's, that's, this is, we are at the awakening. And it's like, I keep telling people, you need to keep waking up. You need to, because if you don't, you're the one that's just really going to suffer inside.
Right.
And I know we're seeing it, right? We're just seeing it around globally. The people that are, we're seeing it. People that are kicking and screaming, and other that are like, oh my God, I'm just open. Oh, can't wait.
Yes.
And
it's funny. I'm in a book group, and I've never done a book group. I've never done a book group before. And it's another YouTube person. It's Lulu's Way, and she is doing the Wayne Dyer book on
Wayne. Yep.
Yes. On Lao Tzu's verses.
Yep.
And interesting that people have said that the last few weeks after they've started this, they actually are changing and seeing a change, and really didn't understand why they were seeing a change.
Yeah.
But it's just the like-minded people, the conversation.
Well, and that's where it starts. It starts with the conversation, that we're talking about.
That's
because
right.
People are interested, now whether
we need to keep the conversations going.
Yeah.
That's what I say all the time.
And the deeper we go, and, I think the more questions that people are going to ask, and the more interest that they're going to have, just, in the metaphysical, because I love, metaphysical world that we're living in. We're not in the 3D. We're in 5D going up. And that's one of the biggest issues that people, are trying to cling to, that third dimension, just living. And we're not there. We, yay, we've ascended. So, kind of let's
right. We're expanding.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And that's why it's like spirits all here with open arms saying, let me help you. I'm here. We're all here for you. So let's really, it's kind of like drop the BS. Let's go, because you decided to be here in this moment, in 2023 during this lifetime. And I can't stress that enough with people. I'm like, this is not, you just didn't wake up in this life for no reason. There's always a purpose, no matter if you don't, you think that, why am I here? And a lot of people are thinking that. Well, you're bet your butt there's reasons why you're here. So finding out more, okay, why am I here? What do I need to do? I mean, people are really
looking to find those answers. Yeah.
Right. Because then it becomes, oh, I'm here for, okay. All right. This is going to make more sense, and you're going to see that too with clients, and you already are, of, I'm sure, the depth
Yes.
And the trauma that people are
Mhm.
needing to.
Yes.
I know, I see it. Like, it's like, and you can handle it. And it's people need, to really work through that and release that in order, to move forward. And
Oh, absolutely.
it's like,
And
I
to
feel
move forward happily and abundantly and peacefully.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
because we all deserve that. We all have a right to that.
Right. And your work is I see it. It's just, you're going to go deeper, and, your clients are going to need it. Just really someone like a firm hand, you know what I mean, to hold. So get ready. Get ready, Marisa. I see it.
Lucky
it's
me.
Like, woo, but you got it.
Keri, I want to thank you so much for coming on. I know you're very busy. I know you have a lot of clients, and I so appreciate you coming to talk to the audience today. Like I said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. I would love to have you on again. We'll have another conversation about other things. But again, thank you so much. Again, have a wonderful evening. I thank you. Take care.